All right, guys, this is Adrian here again, and this is another Brute Shoot. Today we're going to discuss a question that I'm often asked from athletes that I coach online, that I coach in my gym, and that often people off the street just casually ask me because they know I'm in the fitness field or in the fitness profession. And that question is, Adrian, what supplements should I take, or what supplements do you take? And, that's basically what we're going to discuss over the next few minutes is what supplements are going to give you the cutting edge and take you to that next level in your performance when you're pursuing the sport of CrossFit. Now, when people come to me, though, and they ask me, what supplements should I take? The very first question that I actually rebuttal back to them is, what did you eat for breakfast this morning? Sadly enough, you would probably be surprised as a viewer. These people tell me that they didn't eat breakfast, or that they actually never really eat breakfast regularly because they don't have time, or because it's a little bit inconvenience. They don't wake up early enough to prepare breakfast, so they just do without. Or maybe I come to them and I ask, okay, so you don't eat breakfast, but how many calories do you normally consume in a day? And they have no idea of what that looks like. And then, I cross this next bridge and I'm like, so you're wanting to take supplements, but you don't know how many calories you've eaten. Well, let's start with what's a normal day in your diet look like? And then people still have no idea even how to describe the food that they're putting into their bodies, or basically what fuel they're using currently to provide their fitness, their energy levels on their day-to-day life, and their performance in the gym. So this is what I'm going to tell you guys. It's not necessarily about the supplements that you use or what you should be looking for. It's more about what you put into your body and how you treat it from the things that you're missing in your day-to-day interactions. So what I mean by that is, are you really sleeping 8 to 10 hours a night? And if first and foremost you can't prioritize that kind of rest and recovery from your training, supplements should be on the back burner. You shouldn't even be concerned with that. First, you need to dial in the way that you restore your body. There's nothing more hormonal outside of steroids themselves that can provide you the necessary recuperation from training other than sleep itself. So let's take care of that first. 2 is, you need to be eating real food. And what I mean by that is we can refer to Coach Glassman's traditional eat meat and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, and no sugar. That's a great outline for most people. And if your diet doesn't even look glaringly close to that, we have a problem. If you're eating a lot of processed food, if you eat out a lot, if you're eating a lot of fast food on the go, again, supplements are something that you completely need to not be worrying about, and you need to worry about the real food that you're taking in. Third, and the next step in the tier system that I kind of approach in this conversation is, we need to know how much of the food that you're consuming. If your energy levels are increasingly low and you're in the gym training for hours on end, but you have no idea where your calories are or even where your macronutrients fall, it's like walking around with a loaded gun and having no idea how to accurately aim it or even execute firing the weapon. So we need to first have an understanding of being able to measure out the quantities of food that we're taking in. You can use apps like MyFitnessPal or some other thing that you can find on your phone, I don't know, or you can actually sit down and do the tedious work and log it and put it in a notebook. But what you guys need to understand is supplementation is like icing on the cake. I've been a part of the CrossFit community now for about 7 years, been competing for a little more than 6, so close to about 7 years as well. And I can tell you right now, the fittest people that I know in our sport, and then also segue into the physique world where we're talking about cutting body weight and cutting body fat, but still being at your maximum muscle volume. The natural guys that I know in that community, all of these people, the one thing that they have in common are supplements are very low on their priority list. Yeah, you see their face next to a supplement label and you see them giving shouts out to this supplement company, but why? Ask yourself that. They're on the payroll, right? And supplement companies might not be real thrilled that I'm saying this and sharing this here with you today, but those are never gonna be the cutting edge difference in your performance or how you look unless everything else, 10 out of 10, is taken care of already. So keep that in mind. You're potentially wasting hundreds of dollars each month on the coolest and greatest tasting protein powder that you can find. But you can find it in chicken and steak and turkey and salmon and natural sources of skeletal meat that are going to affect your body in many different ways and much more on a natural scale than that powder. And this is coming from a person who's probably taken supplements from the time that I was about 16 years old. I was introduced to protein powder. I remember growing up as a kid watching my dad take it after he worked out, and that was the coolest thing. I just wanted to have some. But the bottom line is, it's supplementation. And so you guys know, supplements aren't regulated by the FDA. We're not really even 100% sure of what is encapsulated in these ingredients. The labels could read far different from what the information or the nutrients actually provide to your body. And who knows what over the course of 10, 20 years, taking pills and protein in a powder form could potentially do to your body. Just think about the natural processes that our bodies go through in order to metabolize this and actually put it to use. So the bottom line is, folks, there's a ton of supplementation out there to choose from. If you're gonna take it, you need to be doing your research. So that means understand each label, understand the nutrients that are listed on the label, look it down into the smallest inclusion of the ingredient list so that you know what you're putting into your body. Always know where the juice is worth the squeeze as well. So do your background checks on what the supplementation company provides. What are they really known for? Is it quality? Is it the pricing? Is it the taste? And what are you really going for? I hope most of you are probably going the direction of quality and obviously long-term safety. So while you want it to improve your performance, you also need to understand that you want to make sure that we're aware of the consequences that it could be potentially doing to our body as well. And I would encourage most of you guys to start back at square one again. Think about sleep. Think about quality of the food that you're putting into your body. Think about measuring and weighing that food. And then, and only then, do we ever need to be concerned about supplementation. Again, we want to build our tier from the base up, and this is the very top. This is the icing on the cake. And this is mainly for a lot of you guys that are looking to take your performance from that 90th percentile into the 99th percentile, into the 95th percentile. This is where we're going to start to squeak out those small margins of victory that might potentially provide you more energy and able to train. I'll tell you guys as a snippet too on the side here, and I will list a few of the supplements that I think are go-tos for almost any and every athlete that is taking care of those first three notches under your belt. And the first one is going to be fish oil. I think that this is a huge thing for you to make the consideration to take. It's going to help balance out a lot of the inflammation that is taking place in our body, and it naturally has a little bit of a balancing act on some of the pro-inflammation that is constantly in the food that we have versus the non-inflammation. So look into fish oil as a supplementation. Do your research on whatever brand you decide to take. Second is going to be creatine. I think that this helps almost any and every athlete, whether you're even in the endurance field or in the power field in regards to searching for results. This usually will help your ability to perform in any given training session or practice at a higher level. And we all know that the athletes that lift the heaviest are the strongest, and the athletes that run the fastest are the fastest. So if we can do something that will help us perform better in training, we will perform better in competition. And lastly, this is kind of a new one for me, but I've really looked into taking vitamin D as a supplementation specifically. I'm up here in Salt Lake, and I'm not doing much outdoor training here in the winter, don't have much exposure to the sun, and this is something that can also help balance the hormonal function of your body, help with your immunity, and then also help with your sleep cycling and recovering from day to day. So those are my top 3 supplements that I suggest you guys go out, take a look at, do your research, and invest in. Other than that, make sure that you guys are smart with what you choose. And if you're not doing those top 3 things, like I mentioned earlier, you're wasting your money. Save your money, go spend it on something good like whole food and making sure that we're hydrating our body appropriately, and then go from there. That's all I got for you guys on the Brute Shoot about supplements.